Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. Cheers. I got my Starbucks coffee here. You know, let's get rid of this thing here. Oh, well, hold on. C300 clean. That's not it. Hold on. There we go. I got my config down right. So let me know in the chat if you can hear me, number one, and if the picture is clear. And then we'll jump into it. So I got some Starbucks for a change. I don't know if you can see. Whoa. There we go, Starbucks. So that's some serious bokeh here, eh? Woo. All right. So I found this this conversation on Quora about why is C# so much better than Java yet not as popular. I'm curious to see what they have to say, and we'll read it, and then we'll get into it as well. Hello from Greece. Cheers. I had a question. Where's the question? If I get the mentoring program for $50 a month, besides the courses, what else is included? Well, tons. I'll get real quick into that. Mentoring, you get all this. You get lifetime access. You get access to all the courses, all the different things you're going to learn. There's pro level of the courses that are coming out. You got 300 lessons, video lessons over, really, 1,000 quiz questions, interactive learning, certifications, all my certifications, soft skill training, resume building training, landing your first job, freelancing, private support group with bi-weekly Zoom meetings. You got the private mentoring videos, private consultations, a whole bunch more. So you can check it out here. If you go to studioweb.com/mentoring, you can find all the information you want about it. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So to answer that question quickly, so let me just jump into the subject, and then we will go into the Q&A as usual. All right, guys. So let me get this out of the way here. Yeah. All right. So here it is. So I found this on Quora, so it just popped up in my feed, so I thought it would be kind of interesting to look at. So why is C# so much better than Java, yet not as popular? Let me just say it's not necessarily my opinion right now, but let's just see what these guys have to say. But this one has a reasonable answer. All right, so here's the answer. Both C# and Java are very capable languages. At the time C# came out, both it and Java could make programs with clean syntax for class-based OOP. This is a little bit old, this discussion, 2017. Still relevant today. Let's go on. C# has some nice non-essential features like delegate and properties. The way it handled switch was better as well. This is 2017. I'm sure Java may have closed some gaps there, but C# costs money and is tied to Windows. All right, before I go on, let me just say this is pretty much what it is. C# was, I remember when C# came out, when it was in beta, I downloaded .NET and C#, and I took an app that I had built in Java, JDBC Pojo Java servlets, and I said, okay, I'm going to build it with .NET C#, and I built the whole thing. It was fine. It was kind of cool. C# was basically Microsoft's answer to Java. And I think Microsoft had implemented their version of Java. I think it was called J++, if I recall. And then they decided, okay, we're going to do our own thing, C#. And they basically looked at Java and said, how can we improve upon it? Since that time, it's been decades, they've been leapfrogging each other, trying to get ahead. I'm not sure the state today vis-a-vis Java and C# in terms of jobs, but they're both very capable languages. So let me just get back to it. So, but I think this puts the finger right on it. But C# costs money and it's tied you into Windows. Now, this may not be the case anymore with the new projects, but generally speaking, if you're writing C# code, .NET code, you're writing for Windows. But I'm sure there's plenty of exceptions since 2017. For us, professionals writing cross-platform web apps, the tie was an immediate no. Java, being free, gave rise to many open source frameworks like Stretch, Stripes, Tapestry, JUnit, JBoss, Hibernate. Oh, I remember all these, boy. Everybody pretty much uses, you got I forget the main one all of a sudden, but Struts is still around a little bit, but Spring, Java Spring is the main web framework for Java. It became faster to use Java and its libraries than to use C#. Now with Mono and Xamarin, the difference is less. But first mover advantage, that's why Java became more popular. That's pretty much it. So let me explain. First mover advantage, for you people who may not be aware of that, it's a basic reality of market forces. When some product or service comes out first, they tend to dominate for the longest time unless something really bad happens. So for example, McDonald's, the first fast food chain out there, and I think until this day today, McDonald's is still the biggest fast food chain in the world as far as I know. They were the first. And first mover advantage, McDonald's. Java was out for years before C# came out, so it was well established, dependable, trustworthy. There was a lot of investment in Java. So once Microsoft came out with C#, they had some catching up to do, and I think Java was just so big, I don't think they would ever catch up. And the data today, last time I checked, 2021, I don't think you're going to see much of a big difference between where Java is relative to C#. If you're interested in either language, they're both cool, by the way. They both produce great code. You see apps that are great in either Java or C#. It's cool. But that was the main reason, is that Java was first to market. First to market is huge. It's huge. So that's why it's there. So let's see what other people are saying, though, in this piece. I'm always curious. It's always good to look at other people's opinions, you learn things as you do. So let's see, we got some Mohammed. So in 2018 he writes, I'm a Java guy, yes, but this has nothing to do with the following. Okay, let's see what he has to say. I don't agree with you on C# being so much better than Java. Everything that you mentioned in the comment about generics, native code, and many other things that C# does better than Java, like delegates and whatever, is pure nonsense. Those features are either not used or not needed by 95% of programmers who use either language. I just pulled that percentage off. It means absolutely nothing. There you go. There is nothing that C# can do that Java can't. That's probably likely. I can guarantee you that's like. On top of that, Java is truly, absolutely, unequivocally cross-platform. I use it to write cross-platform software every single day. C#, on the other hand, is for Microsoft fanboys. So, okay, this guy obviously doesn't like Microsoft, but it's okay. I don't want to be restricted to use Microsoft Stack for all my projects. I admit that Visual Studio is the best damn IDE on God's earth. That's true. I have to tell you, if anything you got to give props to Microsoft for is their IDEs. Super dope, super good stuff. So let's go back. But that's about it. I'm not interested in the .NET framework. I sure as hell am not interested in wasting my time porting and configuring my projects under Mono. We are way past the era when we used to think about one operating system platform. Nowadays, we expect our clients to be running any type of OS, and for that, we need to think about cross-platform programming, and no one does this better than Java. Well, I don't know about that. Python's pretty good there. To add some extra points, Java is the de facto language for Android programming. This is no longer the case. It's still super widely used, but Google recommends Kotlin these days, so just given that Android is running 90+% of handheld devices around the world, and that Microsoft phones are virtually dead, well, they are totally dead today. This is even more reason for me to use Java in lieu of C#, and I actually do. To summarize the answer to your question, C# is not so much better than Java. I would tend to agree with that statement. C# is popular, but is not much loved as Java. Well, C# forces you to use Microsoft.NET Stack. No one likes being forced to do something, not even .NET architects themselves. C# is not cross-platform. I, for one, write cross-platform software almost every day in my life. I'm going to address this in a second. Well, let me address this right now. A web app is by nature cross-platform. Its deployment is not necessarily cross-platform, meaning I'm not sure how good Mono is vis-a-vis .NET for web application development. I would have to look into that. But Java, generally Java, and I would imagine C#, .NET is generally a web-based application development, although I know C# is used in other areas as well, just like Java. Web apps are cross-platform in terms of the user, right? In terms of who's using your app. But in terms of deployment, generally speaking, if you're going to go C#, .NET, you go Windows. You go Windows servers. With Java, you can go all over the place. So it depends on what you want to do there. You know, if I were writing software that was, I was integrating with Microsoft products, I don't know, whatever, Exchange server, Outlook, or whatever servers they have now. I haven't looked at that in a while. Definitely would be using .NET. But if I wanted something just general purpose cross-platform, my instinct would be on the enterprise, for big apps, for big companies, would be Java versus C#, .NET. But they're both very capable, that being said. Let me get back to it. Java is the language used by Android developers. Yes, with Kotlin is coming in. If you are a smartphone developer, you will eventually need to use Java. Okay, what else do we got here? Let's see, we got some comments. We'll read some of the comments. Comments are always fun to read. 27 comment. How is that C# support for functional programming is excellent. Don't get me wrong, I like C#. I'm working with it on a project, but this is clearly more object-oriented language. C# 7 brings some new functional constructs as far as I can see, but this still doesn't like the real deal to me. It doesn't look like the real deal to me, excuse me. All right, so we're getting into minutiae arguments here. If your friends or social circle is telling you Java is more popular, change your circle. I laugh because you get these people that get into big arguments about this stuff. Java and C# are most widely used. Java and C# are most widely used high-level programming languages. Leave others of similar paradigm out of the scope for a moment, such as Python. The main thing to consider is how can you program. To program anything, you definitely need an IDE or a tool where your programs are written. Then you need a compiler, etc., to make things simpler. So in case of Java, Eclipse, NetBeans, etc. act as an IDE, and they are all free of cost. A Java compiler is available for free of cost, and there are other compilers for Java as well, such as GCJ. They are all free of cost. But in case of C#, Visual Studio, my God, that's expensive. Two, there's no cross-platform compiler for C# at all. C# only runs on Windows platform and requires .NET framework to be installed. I don't know if that's the case with the Mono project. This was a 217 comment, so things have changed since then. Even Microsoft is basically, that's why they went with, I guess he gets into it. My above points are the excuses made by general program, and I hear these statements regularly, whereas they are not true today. Visual Studio Community Edition is a free edition of Visual Studio, comes shipped with a pro-grade tooling and support. .NET Core itself is an entirely cross-platform framework, and it also powers UWP, Windows 10 applications, as well as Xamarin, primarily based on Mono. So in many ways, C# was be ahead of Java several miles, not just a foot. All right. There are many factors that contribute towards belief that Java is being more popular. GitHub, repo, languages, preferences of languages in universities that teach languages, C# or Java. Even my university taught Java in our object-oriented programming course, personal preference or choice, preference of the training academy or the instructor, preference of the author of a particular library or article, research paper. Most times you have to use that particular language to consume a library because there's no way you can have interoperability. This is where right here in various languages. It is also not common to say that C# is more popular than Java. They are both more popular than Python, or they are both more popular than Python. This all depends on the perspective one has in their own field of experience, as well as social circle. Also, not to miss, Microsoft is also now the top contributor to open source repositories, and C# is their primary programming language, which means even repos or language usage will give C# a benefit. Other than that, C# and Java are both popular enough. You know them. You know both of them, don't you? This is the meaning of popularity. All right. That's an interesting conversation. All right. So do we want any more comments? Oh, here we go. We got an Apple fanboy jumping in here. Okay, we'll see what they have to say, and then we'll get into the comments in the live stream. Being an Apple fanboy, I'm giving a biased answer. At least he's honest about that. That's cool. In my humble opinion, Swift as a language with a public history of 4 years only is substantially better designed than either Java or C#. The syntax is much less clunky. Type inference is a bliss, and the evolving generic system puts even the C# type system to shame. Don't get me wrong, with the FP aspects, you just can't compare a well-planned solution with afterthoughts. Oh wait, you can also natively incorporate C code into Swift without the ugly interfacing stuff. All right, we're going to go back and forth for half an hour, so we'll stop there. So there you go. I hope you found that informative. Let me give you my take. The main reason that Java is still in 2021 more popular than C# is simply because of the fact that Java was the first one out of the gate and had years of head start over C# to get out there. Yes, when C# came out, it had some interesting capabilities that Java did not, but of course Oracle keeps on releasing new versions of Java to catch up or to surpass, and then Microsoft comes out with a new version of C#. Anybody who knows my channel knows my general advice to you as a software developer who's been doing this for 800 years. 800 years. I can tell you that there's no particular language that is universally better or worse, with the exception of Ruby. You got to avoid Ruby at all costs. But beyond that, you can pick any language and you're going to find good software with that particular language, even Ruby. I'm just joking about Ruby. So, what you do is you learn your fundamentals. Then if you're interested in C#, look at it in terms of, see what the jobs are like, see what people are doing with C#, and see if you want to do that kind of coding. You'll find that C# coding and what you're doing there could be very different from what you might be doing with Java, depending on where you happen to be. That being said, I put out a free webinar about a week or so ago that addresses all these things. I'm just going to show you the address so you can get it. It's called the CODER'S Career Path, CODER'S Career Path, and you just go to this login here. I'll put the link below this video. You go to newsletters.stefanmischuk.com/CODER Careers Path sign up, and you get access to this free webinar. I'll put the link below this video so that you can watch 29-minute video where I talk about the different languages, C#, C++, Java, Python, PHP, JavaScript, etc. And I talk about them in terms of job opportunities, what kind of jobs you will do, etc., etc. So I think you'll find this webinar very useful if you are a beginner in software development, okay? There you go. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. How many people are on the stream now? Let's see. We got 150 people and only 39 thumbs ups. That's pathetic. Give me thumbs up. I asked for them because it helps with the algorithm. It tells more people that we're live and we're doing a stream. All right, so let's get to some questions here. Hold on. Let me get some things in the room. All right. Next video. Why Ruby is God sent and beats every other language. There we go. Did you hear what happened with Ruby, by the way? Apparently, some library that's implemented in a lot of Rails projects was the licensing was changed, and as a result of the licensing being changed, it caused a whole kinds of problems with people's Rails projects. I don't know all the details, but apparently that came out. I appreciate the thumbs ups, everybody. I'm glad you like it. How are we doing for time? 27 minutes already. Whew. All right, I'll answer some questions quick. Java native compilation with Growl VM puts Java in a higher level of performance and efficiency. There we go. One. Crystal clear. Thanks for letting me know. Audio, video is great. Good. Appreciate it. Okay, so we're good. Always good. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me know. Starbucks should sponsor Stef. For sure. What are you going to do? Hello from Serbia. Hey, Egypt. Wow, very cool. C# fanboy. C# is quite popular outside of the US, especially the EU. That's what I hear, especially in Germany. I heard people tell me Germany uses a lot of C#. But if there's a whole lot of Java jobs, no C# jobs, isn't Java better? There's a lot of C# jobs too. They're both good. It just, for me, it's a personal taste thing at this point. C# is pretty huge where I live in Brazil, bigger than Java even in the job market. So there you go. Mr. Vitor is giving us the truths. Okay, what's going on? Yeah, that's what I heard. How well does C# run on Linux with Mono? I'd like to know that. I love Python, but JavaScript is conquering everything. Any application that can be written in JavaScript will eventually be written in JavaScript. Right now, yeah, JavaScript is king. Remember, I've talked about this in other videos. All the top languages today, Java, JavaScript, Python, C#, PHP, what else did I mention? Well, those are the big ones there. They're 20, 25-year-old languages. I think Java turned 25, Python 25, I think PHP is 20, 25. All the popular languages and growing in popularity are all these old languages. That tells you something. It tells you that the industry, the software development industry, has reached plateau in terms of language development. Meaning, I don't think you're going to see any new language upstarts replacing any of the old ones. I think they're more than good enough for generally speaking. All right, so yeah. If you know C#, you got a job in California. There you go. It was J++, Visual J++. There you go. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah. C#, is C# easy to develop on the Mac? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. Hello from Austria. .NET Core is changing the Windows-only thing. Yeah, I know that. Microsoft's philosophy now has been for years is to not be bound to Windows. Their old philosophy with the previous CEO, Ballmer, was they were very Windows-centric. They wanted to lock everybody in Windows. And in fact, they did a lot of stuff to do that. They didn't want the web to grow. They saw the web as a threat. They lost that war. And with the new CEO, I think his name's Sanjay, I forget his name now. But anyway, the new CEO, he's totally changed Microsoft's way of thinking. It's not about Windows anymore. It's about the tool sets to support developers. So they're trying to make everything cross-platform. So, I think that's what you can expect going forward with the Java stuff. C# grew a lot because of the Unity engine. Yeah, that's another thing. Unity. Yeah. How about Python statically typed plus compiled maybe? Would that be possible? I don't know. Would it be up to the Python people to implement that, C# will explode into use because it recently became open source. A golden age is coming for this language. Could be. See what happens. Again, whether you do C# or Java or Python or PHP or JavaScript, you're going to be in a good position no matter what. They're all very capable and very popular languages. When a technology gets to a certain point where it's almost impossible to displace them, and all those programming languages are at that point now. So I wouldn't be too concerned. The JVM makes Java great. 100%, I agree with that. 100%, Angelo. How are we doing here? JavaScript is conquering everything. It's like the Thanos, inevitable. So that's why I got my Thanos haircut right now. There we go. Ismail Abdullah has it correct. The language doesn't matter. When you become a pro developer, you'll jump from one language to the next depending on the needs of your employer or on the needs of the project at hand. And you're going to learn to become language agnostic. Of course, you will have favorite languages. You have languages that you will prefer over others, but this could change over time. At one point, I was a Java zealot. For me, Java was the bee's knees. I didn't want to work in any other languages, and then I was forced into it because of my freelancing career. And I started discovering that other languages had merits, some pros and cons to everything, of course. And I started seeing when I learned PHP after having done Java for quite a while, even though PHP was a garbage language at the time, it was PHP 3. PHP 8 is enterprise ready, by the way, but PHP 3 was, oof. But even then, I started, you know what, this PHP, I don't like this, and I don't like that about it, but you know what, it does this pretty cool, and it's got certain advantages here, and so on and so forth. Same with Python, same with JavaScript, same with, you know, whatever. And you're going to learn as you become more experienced developer, you will switch around. You may be somebody for 5 years, you may be writing just Java, or you may be just writing Swift. But eventually, you'll probably find yourself switching from language to language. But don't worry, it's not a big deal. I equate learning to program like learning how to drive standard shift cars. Once you learn how to drive an Audi, to jump into a Porsche is no big deal. Buttons are a little bit different, but it's pretty much the same situation. Yeah. Julian, hello from Germany. All right, cool. Choose something high level. All right, yeah. Okay, so what's, to keep with tradition, first of all, again, I appreciate the thumbs up when you give them. Give me a thumbs up if you like this stream. Give me 2 thumbs down if you hate my Thanos haircut. I would appreciate 2 thumbs down. Show how much you hate me. 2. And also, in the comments, say where you're from. I'm going to scroll down and say Nick from wherever you happen to be in the world, etc., etc. That'd be cool. I like to know let me just jump ahead. I like to know where people are from. All right. Viper 909 say, thanks for not comparing something like Python to C# or Java. I've seen a trend, people trying to compare compiled languages to interpreted ones, which makes no sense. Yeah, no problem, dude. Jumping from one language to language is not as easy as it sounds. Well, you know, it depends on, you know, it's a few days, takes a few days to get your head wrapped around it, and then a few weeks to get really productive. I found, from my experience, C# is just beautifully engineered lang, in my humble opinion. All right, Southwest, all right, here we go. Southwest US, Screen Looker, Danielle from Copenhagen, the Netherlands, Chicago, Italy, Toronto. All right, we'll see. Hey, Stefan, please, I asked question under your 2020 first live stream. Please look and check during free time. Help me out. Thanks. Send me a message directly, and because I'm not sure where I look for that. We'll be doing network and cybersecurity certificates whilst learning Python affect my chance of becoming good at coding. Not necessarily, no. I really enjoy studying them all, but some days I don't know if I'm doing too much. You know if you're doing too much, if your brain is getting overloaded and you're getting headaches or you're not able to retain information. Let that be your guide, I think. Okay, Ishaya from Israel, from Dallas, Texas. Seb from North Carolina. I am from Romania. Andre. That's cool. Birmingham, Alabama. Morris, how are you doing, man? Taz, I really like C#.NET stack. It seems like you can do anything for any platform with it. That's cool. From the Philippines, John Fabro. Stefan, what do you think about OAuth? I find it kind of puzzling and hard to implement. Yeah, we've had to implement that for Studioweb. It's a bit of a pain, but yeah, good luck. We've done it. It's doable, though. We've done it. Hey, Dave. Cheers, everybody. I have a coffee. Drink whatever you want, any type of beverage. Coffee, tea, wine, IPA beer, Corona beer. Sydney, Australia. From Greece. Hey, man. From Algeria. Swit to use different languages. The Richmond, Virginia. Cuba, living in Chile. Cool. Cuban, living in, that's cool. Calgary, Alberta. Another Canuck, Canadian. C# is really up top. Only language that I like as much as Kotlin. There you go. That's cool. I can appreciate that. Stefan, what do you think about OAuth? I got that. Yeah. Montreal. Whoa. 1999 Luke. All right. Going to Schwartz's tomorrow. Schwartz is a very famous restaurant in Montreal. I learned some PHP as a necessity. I always used to bash on it, but after a while I realized it's just like JavaScript with different syntax and runs a bit differently. Pretty much. Dunks 1980, pretty much. What's up? What's up? Stef, what's up, friend? How you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. Queens, New York. Cool, cool. Cuban living in Chile. I mean, if you're jumping from JavaScript to Haskell, it's probably gonna be interesting, Lafalel from Brazil. Yeah, well, of course. I'm thinking of the top languages, you know, all the C derivatives, you know. Hi from Brazil. Hi from London, England. All right. Satara, I haven't seen her in a little while. I was wondering what your thoughts are. I hope you've seen it. Trois Rivières, Patrick. Bonjour, bonjour. C#.net. Equals MVC equals OOP. I prefer functional programming with Elixir and JS. Okay, that's cool. Salut. J'espère que tout va bien avec toi. Hey, from Sweden. I can confirm C# is overtaking Java in terms of job opportunities here. Okay. I was wondering on your thoughts. Excuse me. I was wondering what your thoughts are on using WordPress for websites. Yes or no? Why not? If it works for you, use it. India. Well, very cool. Hi from the UK. Is SEO a skill worth learning for freelance? I learned the basics. You don't have to get super crazy with it. A lot of web marketing has to do with social presence as opposed to tinkering with SEO stuff. Yeah, OAuth can be annoying. From Salamis, Greece. I never heard of Salamis. Very cool. Oshawa, Ontario, Saudi Arabia. Very cool. When finished a website for a client, who is responsible for the website maintenance after that? Depends on your contract. Make sure you have a good contract. If you go to my Studioweb store, I have a freelance course that teaches all about that in terms of providing all kinds of contract templates as well, so you should be pretty good. Copy and paste instead. What is the deal with the C#? Well, I think I just did that. How big a jump is it from JS to C#? Well, it's a bit of a jump because C# is strongly typed. Yeah, that's the biggest one, I think. Poland, very good. Stefan, I sent you an email a couple of days ago. I just finished your CSS course, but still don't feel confident code on my own. I feel I don't remember a lot of what you covered. Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff covered, right? It's a big course, right? So what I would do is I would go back and just redo it and follow along with me. Don't just do the quizzing, the code challenges in the course. Write out the code, pause the videos, write out the code, pause the videos. The key for you right now is you keep writing code. Keep writing code. Don't worry. As you write code, even code you don't quite understand now, it will help you to understand. It will help you with comprehension as you write code. Yeah. Yeah, PHP feels like another jQuery. You should look at Laravel, professional C++ dev from Nova Scotia. Hey, how you doing, man? Cython is a compiled subset of Java. Okay, I was not aware. I've heard of Cython, didn't know it was compiled. Microsoft is getting backlash from devs only for its dark days. They have now completely different culture. Yeah, exactly. Very different today. I should want to point out before I continue. Yeah, so if you haven't seen, you should go to newsletter.Coder's Career Path, sign up. I'll put the link below. Free Coder's Career Path webinar, which I think a lot of people will find useful, 29-minute video. I'm setting up newsletters now because I want to be in direct contact with everybody. Another thing I put up recently is something called KOMODO. It's part of my Lizard Wizard psychology and communication course, if you will. And so I have this new thing called KOMODO. It's totally free. You sign up, and I send you out little tasks to do every 3 days. And they're designed to train you, psychologically speaking. It will help you to learn more quickly. It will help you with anxiety. It will help you with your interpersonal skills. People really like it. So Lizard Wizard KOMODO is a whole new way of delivery. It's delivered via email. So I invite you to sign up for free. Check it out. It's link will be below. Go to newsletter.stefanmischuk.com/KOMODO. All right. Just wanted to plug that a little bit. And I'll just plug another thing since I'm here. Yeah, my mentoring program. This is my most advanced training You get all this, lifetime access, all the courses, hundreds of video lessons, 1,000 quiz questions, certifications, soft skill train, job, resume prep, private support, private Zoom meetings, mentoring videos that only the mentoring group gets, private consultations, all there for you. All right, enough of the plugs. All right, so we got going. In my opinion, choosing one language and sticking to it for a couple of years increases the experience timeline rapidly. Yeah, you don't want to jump around too much. Once you find something you like, you're right, you don't want to jump around too much. I did a whole video just on that subject. But you will see, though, in time, as your career progresses, you will be using several languages. It seems highly probable. All right, let's scroll down. C# is big in Atlanta, hi from the Philippines. Gotta say, camera quality looking crisp for a live stream. Hot damn. I appreciate that. I've been working on my camera game. If you're going to pursue anything in life, try to constantly level up your game. Even if you level it up 5% a week, or excuse me, 0.5% a week, over a year, you start seeing some significant increases. So I'm always trying to level up anything I do. And camera work is one of them. So thanks for that. I appreciate that. SEO hasn't done much for my previous companies. It was a huge letdown. We ranked but got all our sales from having YouTubers push the product for us. Yeah, it depends. I should do a whole video on that. I own killersites.com, which is one of the first sites in the world that taught coding and web design. In the world. It was established, a site in 1996. I took it over in the year 2000. And yeah, so anyway, I used to do a lot of SEO. We'd have millions of page views per month on my Killer Sites website, Killer PHP, how to build websites and other sites. But yeah, today it's all about social video. That's the key to all that kind of stuff. SEO was important back in the late 90s when people designed websites using old archaic ways that basically hid the content from search engines. So an SEO specialist, I had friends who did it for a living, they would go in there and clean up the code. And a lot of times they had to do a lot of work to make it searchable by the engines. But since that time, if you just write code with modern web development technique, HTML5, CSS3, etc., you're not going to have an issue there. Also, the search engines are just much more sophisticated. So the whole SEO industry in its pure form is really, it's not so important. It's more about web marketing these days, but it has a lot to do with social. Are there any frameworks for C like there are for JS, PHP, Python? Yeah, well, C#, I think you mean C#. C# has the .NET, of course, yeah. I don't have a feeling that I learned anything in the university. What would you recommend I should do to become a good programmer or IT engineer after university? Well, you should be writing code. Now, I'm gonna push my own course material. You go to Studioweb, school.studioweb.com. Just go to my links below. You'll learn a lot. Just read the reviews about my courses, and you can decide whether or not you think my courses are worthwhile. But the key is to write real code. I hear that a lot from people in universities, unfortunately. English, French, and German are the best languages to get a job. The best way to learn TypeScript is to forget that static types exist. Yes, I knew what you're talking about, C#. Yeah, it's the .NET framework. They have their own framework. I heard there's an MVC option and there's the web forms options. I haven't looked at .NET in a long time. Hello, how are you? Welcome. Web says, hi, how are you? Do you use any cloud? Yes, I do. We use DigitalOcean a little bit. And then we use a virtual private server, which is cloud-based, something called Funio, based out of Montreal. So we use those two. A task on your course should be to buy a coffee and tell them Ruby is worth learning. That takes confidence. So I take it you've gotten the first Lizard Wizard Komodo training. Highly recommend. It's free, guys. It's free. Where is it? Lizard Wizard Komodo. Here we go. There you go. You just go to this address here. This is comes in your email. You're going to get all kinds of free training, which is going to level up your communication and psychological skills big time. It's free. Check it out. People are enjoying it. It's a lot of fun too. Yeah, okay. What are design patterns in OOP? Is it important to know? Yes, the design patterns is hugely important. That's why in my mentoring program, I cite that, how it's right up here. Design patterns, boom, very important. For me, the most important to learn are these two after the core language, design patterns and refactoring. And then, of course, any course, you're going to learn a little bit about data structures. You'll learn a little bit about algorithms, but being an algorithm expert or a super maniac with data structures, that's a specialized type of development. But for every type of developer, these are huge. So yes, to answer your question, design patterns are very important, refactoring, very important. If you look below this video, you'll find links to recommended books on refactoring and design patterns. But I would highly recommend that you get. It's going to level. If you want to level up your game very quickly, that's what you got to do. All right. How are we doing for time? It's already 50 minutes. Okay, I'm scrolling through because I want to finish the stream off at the hour mark. Your advice helped me land a job in a big company in my country. Thanks, Stefan. All right, Nikos. Congratulations, dude. Cheers. Thanks for letting me know. I'm glad. That's one of the things, as an educator, I've been teaching people for a long time now. I love hearing back from students that I've been able to help and point the way a little bit. It's up to you. You got to do the work. So Nico's earned his job for sure, but I'm glad I was able to help him point the way. Yeah, so that's cool. Thanks for letting me know, man. I'm pretty sure the first coding course I ever purchased was on Killer PHP. Oh, there you go. That's cool. That's me, Killer PHP. At one point, I had Killer Sites, Killer PHP, Killer Blogs, a bunch of killer sites. But when I started marketing my products into schools, the school said to me, the second school I got, they said, Stef, we can't have on our invoice, one of our suppliers is Killer Sites. This is an American school. So you understand why I had to move into Studioweb. Do you think there's an age of discrimination in the tech industry? I don't know. I don't think so. Everybody's so sensitive about discrimination these days that they don't want to be attacked for being discriminatory, so I doubt that's happening. But I don't know. I'm not in every company in the world. My general thinking is that if you're an employer who discriminates against somebody who's quite capable because of whatever, their sex, their religion, their race, if you will, you're stupid. You're just dumb. Finding good coders is hard. Who cares? You know, I've had Italian, and Indian, and women, and they're all people. Talented people are talented. Doesn't matter the color of their skin or sex or their age. Talent is talent. You know. So I don't know how often. I don't know how prevalent it is. Just avoid anything tied to the brown child killer. Bill Gates, aka Microsoft C#. Oh, I took some programming years ago at accredited college. I learned more from you in a very short time. Thank you. Hey, SJ, thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that once again. Yeah, you know, I come from a family of teachers, not university, but you know, high school and high school teachers mostly. My father was a teacher, vocational teacher. Yeah, a lot of schools, the people at university, they're not teachers. They're not taught to teach. They're kind of academics, become teachers. So that's one thing. Another thing, a lot of them don't have much work experience, I found. So there's a factor in that. My job as a teacher is to do two things. Number one is to simplify. And number two is to filter out all the things you don't need to know. there's so much information out there. It's unbelievable. We live in a golden age of plenty of information. So my job is to filter out the non-essential and to teach you what you need to know to advance in your career. That's it. That said, I'm sure there's without a doubt great teachers at these schools. You just got, once in a while though, you can land on a bad one. So yeah. What is your view on relational versus non-relational databases? Is one recommended over the other, or do they have different use cases? It's good instinct, Eric. It's all about use case. You use relational databases when you need to store information that has relationships that you need to maintain. You use, so for example, you have an online store and you need to track what clients bought what products, right? So that's a one-to-many relationship. Stef bought bananas, apples, coffee, and a mouse. One Stef, many products I bought. That's a one-to-many relationship. That's better stored with relational databases. Those databases were designed specifically to create relationships between a bunch of information. NoSQL databases, although they can do that, but they're better suited towards information that's more flat, less relationships to maintain, and you need to store information very quickly and access it very quickly. Yes, there are exceptions. I know that in NoSQL world they are adding in ability to create relationships and so forth, but generally, as a blanket statement, that's what I would do. That's what I would say. Yep. You should do a separate video on that Ruby off the Rails article. Oh, you remember that one, eh? That's one of my old ones. I caused a lot of trouble with that article years ago. Hey, Stefan, thanks for your content. Hey, no problem. Thanks for watching my content. I appreciate it. And thanks, everybody, for a thumbs up. It's great. I see that 3 people don't like my Thanos haircut. I don't know why. I thought it was pretty cool. Hi from Germany. Very cool. The problem is the university doesn't give the time to invest it in private education, learn by yourself or code by yourself. Any recommendations for that? You mean for you as a student? Like, I work with a bunch of schools, including some good colleges who use Studioweb, and they use when they use my system, when they use Studioweb, they're using a modern a blended learning platform. It also does distance learning. And what does that do? At the end of the day, without getting into the nerd details, by implementing a modern approach to education, you give the students a lot more flexibility in time. You give the teachers a lot more flexibility in time. And at the end of the day, everybody has a much easier time, and the students come out learning a lot more. So I've been developing and refining the platform and the curriculum for a decade now, working with the schools. I don't know if that answers that question or not. I am a mobile developer, but I used PHP for a project for 6 months and enjoy it. Should I learn Ruby? Just joking. Socrates Bucios. I hope I said that correctly. Patrick, comment ça va, Monsieur Beauclair? C# is our main backend language, Flutter our front, and like I said, we use Kotlin a lot too. Main thing is the Java world is bigger, like Apache integration, aka Kafka. Yeah, of course. Yeah, use Flutter. That's cool. Yeah. Do you use Flutter for mobile or using it for cross-platform? I'm just curious. Blazor is the future. What I need to know for Java OCP certification? I don't know. Look it up. I don't know what they're asking for these days. I should read something on that myself. Stefan, is it easy to immigrate to Canada as a developer? I think so. If you got good spoken skills, you got a good resume, higher education helps. You should contact the authorities who know about these type of things. But having a good, solid technical skills will help a lot. Which language do you find most useful for DevOps and working in cloud environments? Whoa, that's good. It depends on the cloud, I suppose. I'm a big believer in fully managed clouds. I don't want to be messing around with servers and cloud configurations, and the whole market's going in that direction. DigitalOcean is delivering more advanced platforms where you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Funio, I use a fully managed VPS that does all that kind of stuff. I couldn't say off the top of my head. Maybe my first guess would be Python, but you know. What do you think about Drupal? It was worth learning in 2021, only if there's a demand for it. I think Drupal has lost some of its steam, although I'm sure it's still widely used. I messed around with Drupal in the past. If there's a demand, use it, you know. Okay. Your title says, why is C# so much better? I need its explanation, please. Well, I went over that, but I'll just give you a short answer. It's not so much better. It was an article that I found online, and I thought we went through it. You can rewind the stream to get your answer there. Let's see. FB says, if anyone is considering learning Python, take Stef's course. You'll learn everything you need to know. Enter plug here. Hey! I always appreciate a good plug. Cheers. Hey, son, do you think following solid principles is a must to follow as programmer? Doesn't hurt, dude. It doesn't hurt. After how many hours should I study JavaScript to start doing projects? When you feel comfortable manipulating the DOM. In terms of Node, Express, etc., you have to understand the request-response cycle, etc., etc. Do my first 3 courses, HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, you understand all that, and then you can jump into Express and Node. It's not a matter of hours, it's just a matter of whether or not you understand it. Once you understand it, you're great, that's all. So understanding is the key to all this. All right. Let's see what we got here. How are we doing for time? Okay, 59, 58. I'm going to answer 1 or 2 questions. I got to go. Let me ask you a question. Nice explanation. Glad I could help. Your hair looks cool. All right, Kali. Cheers. Khalil, excuse me. I'm thinking of changing my streaming as opposed to periodic 1 hour and 2 hour jobs, which take up a lot of time. I was thinking maybe doing daily half-hour streams. Give me the thumbs or give me the comments whether daily half-hour versus maybe twice a week 1 hour streams, something like that. Leave a comment now and let me know what you think. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do going forward with all that. All right, so yeah. Do you think C# is going to have the popularity it should have? So it's already super popular, dude. If you look at any of the top 10 lists, it's usually there. Atur, how are you, man? Hey, Seven, I've done your website course and a bit of Python, but I am invited for junior .NET developer job in company working with CMS and vet tech. Any advice, please? Yeah, if you got a job offer, take it if it's your first job, and just start learning .NET on your own, dude. You'll pick it up pretty quick since you've done my web stack course in Python. And just take it, learn, make some money. Yeah, so go for it. The fully managed servers confuse the crap out of me. Well, it depends, look at DigitalOcean. I'm not trying to plug them, they have some interesting offerings now. I use them very, very minimally now. I use, they call them droplets in DigitalOcean, which are just little virtualized servers. And we create droplets so that we have some of our clients, they'll upload stuff to one of our droplets, and then our main system will go to the droplet, grab the information that they upload, which is in a text file, and then we bring it back in and do the processing, because we don't open up our main application to anybody. Everything's locked down. So that's why we use droplets. That's a nice little strategy right out there. You can rent a droplet for like $5 a month, What is your opinion on Spring Boot plus Angular to find a job? That would be enterprise level jobs, so that's fine. It depends if in your area, All right. I blame Minecraft for title. I would like to see more content about business analysis. It helps a lot during contracting. Okay, daily half hour. Yeah, okay, guys, so ask me, what do you guys, I think daily half hour would be great. Daily 2 hour. What else do we got here? So let me know, daily half hour or 2 hours once a week. We'll do that. That'll give us a ballpark, easy. Daily half hour, or I do a little commentaries, or 2 hour once a week. So if you can put that down, I'll wait, see what you guys think. And that's about it. So meanwhile, while I'm waiting for those answers, I'll, again, if you're interested in my mentoring program, Studioweb/mentoring, you get all this. It's all lifetime access. You can read a bunch of reviews here about my content. Also, you can go, if you go to that page, studioweb.com/mentoring, you can sign up to watch the free Coder's Career Path webinar. And it's a 29-minute video. It gives you a whole bunch of information about, you can also sign up here too, about how languages impact the jobs that you might get, type of companies, and also the type of work you'll be doing. And finally, my free, it's a beta program. I call it the Daily Spells Lizard Wizard Training Program, where you get every 3 days, you will get a new task that's designed to train your brain. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, Lagos, Nigeria, very cool. All right, so that's the plugs there. Any other plugs? No, that's enough for the plugs. Okay, so let's see what people are saying. 2 hour a week doesn't sound bad. Daily 1 hour, but at a time that's not in the middle of the night in the QA. Hybrid cloud, daily half hour, more opportunities for more people. Yeah, it might be a, what's your opinion on taking a QA internship for my first internship? Yeah, do it for a little while, you know. Try it out, see how it goes, you know. But always try to get some internships where you actually are writing code. Dave Love says, I do DigitalOcean, but I have just cracked the new fangled server types. A tutorial FTW to refresh on the Linux every time I need to use the command prompt. Heroku, easy to use. All right, okay. For daily half hour would be at a set time. That's it, I would have to figure that out. Problem is I got people from all over the world, so it's like, how do I set that up so that everybody has a chance to interact live? I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit. All right, I guess that's about it. Thanks for joining the stream, guys. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and there you go. Give it a thumbs up if you like, and I'm gonna leave with my ASMR video, of course, and as usual, good to relax with. We'll talk soon. Ciao.